I remember the story of the fella here a while ago who was running for Congress as a Republican. He stopped by a farm to do some campaigning, and when the farmer heard he was a Republican, his jaw dropped and he said, "Wait right here." He said, "While I get Ma. She's never seen a Republican before." So he got Ma, and the candidate looked around for a podium to give his speech from. The only thing he could find was a pile of that stuff that's called fertilizer. So he got up on the mound, and when they came back, he gave his speech. End of it, the farmer says, "That's the first time I've ever heard a Republican speech." Candidate said, "That's the first time I've ever given a Republican speech from a Democratic platform."
And I want to say this to the television audience. I made my mistakes, but in all of my years of public life, I have never profited from public service. I've earned every cent. And in all of my years of public life, I have never obstructed justice. And I think, too, that I can say that in my years of public life, that I welcome this kind of examination, because people have got to know whether or not their president is a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
Free trade can be wonderful if you have smart people. But we have people that are stupid. I'm really rich. The American dream is dead.
Listen to this. $1 million on ads against me in Iowa. Now, here's the good news. They used the best pictures. I look so good in those pictures. I'm trying to find where they got them. But I was like a young guy. I look so handsome. I said to myself, oh, I wish I still looked like that.
You are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed peoples of Europe, and security for ourselves in a free world. Your task will not be an easy one.
A short time ago, an American airplane dropped one bomb on Hiroshima and destroyed its usefulness to the enemy. That bomb has more power than 20,000 tons of TNT. The Japanese began the war from the air at Pearl Harbor. They have been repaid manyfold, and the end is not yet. With this bomb, we have now added a new and revolutionary increase in destruction.
The day is broke, my lads, march on and follow, follow Washington. He will lead the way, my lads, 'tis he that leads the way. Where he commands we shall obey, through rain and snow, by night and day. Determined to be free, my lads, determined to be free.
Our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we to increase devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here finally resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and a government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish.
A date which will live in infamy. I ask that the Congress declare that since the unprovoked and dastardly attack by Japan on Sunday, December 7th, 1941, a state of war between the United States and the Japanese Empire.
The welfare of the farmer is vital to that of the whole country. The prosperity of the country rests peculiarly upon the prosperity of agriculture. Just now, one of the strongest hopes of returning good times is based on the business which the farmer's crop are to afford.
But soon their vast excitement o'er, they see what ne'er was seen before. The best selection that could be, ex-Speaker Polk of Tennessee. Hark, the people rising say, he is the man to cope with Clay. Ah, such a nominee, Jimmy Polk of Tennessee.
I wish to see you boys act as good citizens in the same way I'd expect any one of you to act in a football game. In other words, don't flinch, don't foul, and hit the line hard.
Monroe, yes, Monroe, he indeed is the man. Among the best pilots, say, who leads the van? Monroe, yes, Monroe, he indeed is the man.
Citizens of the United States, your suffrages having elected me to the office of President of the United States, I have in conformity with the Constitution of our country taken the oath of office prescribed therein. I have taken this oath of office without mental reservation and with the determination to do the best of my ability. The office has come to me unsought. I commence its duties unclaimed. I bring to it a conscious desire and determination to fill it to the best of my ability.
Do you want a man for president who's seasoned through and through, but not so doggone seasoned that he won't try something new? A man who's old enough to know
and young enough to do.
Well, it's up to you, it's up to you. It's strictly up to you.
But it's Kennedy, 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 Kennedy for me. Kennedy, 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 Kennedy.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was going to
I got a sister who's the love of my life.
Got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun.